Hey everybody, I am at Attention Homes in Boulder, Colorado. I have not been here in 5 years. This is Chris. Wait, yep, that's Chris. This is Sammy. Hopefully you're in there, I can't see.
I pointed it right at him, it's probably okay.
Yeah. So what are we doing today?
We have the great privilege of walking through our permanent supportive housing program for youth.
Wait. Permanent supportive housing for youth?
You got it.
No way.
Yeah, man.
That means like the Easter Bunny and Sasquatch and all that stuff exists too, right?
It's all real.
So let's go.
Permanent supportive housing for youth.
Yeah.
Sasquatch, Easter Bunny, all of those things
I love
are
this
real,
guy.
babe.
I just got, when we walked in, he was wearing a sport coat and sandals, which I think is awesome. And you called it Hawaiian
Business Aloha.
Business Aloha. That is rocking. Let's go for a tour.
Let's go for a tour. You want the Cavalier story or the professional? Let's use professional language
I want you
story?
to be yourself.
Okay, so you get Cavalier. We were serving youth in our shelter and transitional living programs, and just seeing really poor outcomes in terms of long-term stable housing. And the Cavalier side of the story is that we couldn't find enough supportive housing or affordable or accessible housing for young people exiting homelessness, and so we built it.
You built it, and that's what that is.
It sure is.
Oh my gosh.
So this is 40 units. It's 26 efficiencies or studios, 16 one-bedrooms and 1 two-bedroom for young people between the ages of 18 and 24 who are homeless.
Oh my
that's
gosh.
the only entrance criteria, is that you have to need to be housed because you don't have housing.
And you're right downtown.
We are in the heart of Boulder.
How'd you do that?
We're in one of the most affluent neighborhoods. The houses that are immediately proximal to our building their values over $2 million.
Oh my gosh, how'd you do that? That alone is a miracle.
It's a huge thing. So this whole block is owned by First United Methodist Church.
Yeah.
They gave us this land. It was a surface level parking lot.
Oh my gosh.
We got tax credits, so we got a 9% low-income housing tax credit deal.
Okay.
We got some great support from the city of Boulder, from the county, and we had a pretty contentious entitlement process. So we nearly set a record for a planning board meeting at 8 hours.
Wow. So let's go for a walk.
Let's go in there. We're going to start with a really neat thing, and then we'll go into the residential side of this, which is obviously the most important part of it. So we're standing right now in a commercial kitchen. It will serve two purposes. It will be a commercial training kitchen, so that can be life skills or culinary skills development. So that'll be in the evenings, and then during the day, this is actually going to be a restaurant. And so tenants of the building will work in here, not only build those skills, but be paid a living wage to work in downtown Boulder. And it creates a really meaningful intersection with the community, that these perceptions that people have of young people that are experiencing homelessness can get busted. Right, we're gonna make really good food. It'll be a grab-and-go cafe. And then in the evenings, it'll transfer to, again, just that skill building. This is the restaurant space. This is there'll be a fully operational grab-and-go cafe. We're utilizing a lot of natural light, big open spaces, and just create that meaningful connection from between this project and the neighborhood. You look around and we're surrounded by nice homes and churches and downtown businesses, and so again, we just want to see this part of the bustling Boulder community. This is going to be the community space, one of the primary community spaces. We're intentionally building a nice intersection between outdoor and indoor use. So we've got a big courtyard that's going to be well landscaped with lots of seating, Wi-Fi repeaters, electricity, a fire pit, these little nests, which are really cool, where people can just hang out and work and be protected maybe from the elements, but also to have privacy. Right? Privacy is an ongoing theme. People need privacy. People also need connection, and so we're being very thoughtful about how we do that in this space, so people can have private time and be close to other people, but not have to interact, or can play video games together if they want to, or break bread, or whatever that is. And so this is it. This is the common area. We're going to have a TV, couches, bar stools. We'll have a staff desk out here so that there can be some engagement opportunities if tenants of the building want that. Again, we're not requiring anything. If you live here, it's your home. We will be in some of the community areas of your home as long as you tolerate us. but we're here to provide whatever support people are willing to ask for. May this be the beginning of the rainbow that leads to your pot of gold. I love some of these messages. Watch your step. So should we go in a unit, Mark?
Yes, go in a unit.
Go in here.
Okay.
This is great. So we're standing in the middle of we've got 16 one-bedroom units in here, and the difference between a studio, we have 23 studios, 16 one-bedrooms and 1 two-bedroom. The difference between a studio and a one-bedroom is really 2 things. It's about 20 square feet, and it's a wall. And so we do that intentionally so that if somebody's got a young child, they can create some separation for themselves if they want it. We're fully furnishing these things and fully outfitting them for somebody to just walk in literally off the streets, because that's what's happening, and be in a fully functional private apartment with a legally binding lease for 1 year at a time, but there is no time limit. So if somebody needs this level of housing intervention for 4 or 5 years or 6 years, okay, that's great. We do want to help incentivize and support people moving to their own independent housing, but especially for young adults, that doesn't happen overnight. And for everybody, those circumstances and the skill building and experiences that people need to develop, especially with stability, are key to that happening. And so we want people to move on to self-sufficient independence, but we're not going to push that, right? We've just seen that not work too many times for young people, where they get a 2-year subsidy and supports that runs out and they cycle back into shelters.
Kids go through so much trauma, not everybody's going to heal in a certain 90-day window, 6-month window, year window. So it's really amazing that you're doing that.
There's no prescription to this is what one needs to get stable and heal, right? And so we have to remove these prescriptions and the formulas and say, whatever it is that you uniquely need to get better and become stable, we'll offer that. It's right in a residential neighborhood. Right. And so, we heard, and you hear it throughout the country, why don't we put these kind of projects in these industrial parks, or, just put them outside of the city or whatever. And we believe wholeheartedly that everybody deserves to live in a great community. And so it means a lot to have this right downtown. And I hope that it means a lot to the people who live here, that they're part of this neighborhood and this community in a really meaningful way.
Homeless people are already here. They're already here. So providing a space like this where they're inside is just smart.
People would say things like, we don't want to bring more homeless people to our neighborhood. And right, the irony in that is that when people move into this building, they're not homeless people.
Awesome.
They're members of the community, and homeless people are members of the community too, right? Anybody experiencing homelessness in a community is part of that community. And so in this case, it's like, let's get through our heads that when you provide housing and supports to people, you can't define them as homeless anymore.
Oh yeah, this is the better setting. I was wondering why the stupid autofocus wasn't working.
Stupid autofocus.
It's because the stupid old man holding the camera.
No comment. I think the thing that's really cool about this is it's not just this, right? We have really clear intention about building a model of care, a continuum of care that covers the whole spectrum. So we currently have residential programming. We have drop-in programming, so a resource center where one can meet any needs they have, legal, medical, dental, educational, employment, basic needs, right? Wi-Fi is a basic need, but clothes, showers, laundry, food, and again, right, just connecting with people. We've got an overnight emergency shelter for young people. We've got a transitional living program. We're out in the streets doing outreach every day. We're using rapid rehousing. We're using transitional housing, and now we're adding permanent supportive housing to that continuum. And so we see that is the collective continuum that ends youth homelessness. And we're going to prove that in Boulder County, and then we're going to help that happen in every community across the country. We're going to leave it to the tenants of the building to define sort of how these spaces get set up, but we're intentionally creating some community space on this floor, and then right now they're just plain windows, but this is really important, right? So we know nationally there are really disproportionate numbers around LGBTQ youth and youth of color. And one way that we can say, look, we're affirming this is a safe, welcoming space is we're going to pride flag these windows.
Awesome.
And the cool thing is it also matches the stained glass. It will match. It doesn't currently match. It will match the stained glass of the church. And so there's some continuity there, but also this just screams to the whole community, look, this is a welcoming, affirming, open, and safe space. For us at Attention Homes, and it's not exclusive to us, is that this stuff is not academic for us. There's a lot that happens, right, in terms of thinking and planning and creating these kinds of opportunities for people. But for everybody at Attention Homes, it comes from here. That's cool.
Did you give him media training? He wasn't
He's such a natural.
He wasn't this good my last visit.
He's had a lot of practice.
You said to me in your last visit, you said, and maybe it shouldn't go back on, but that will be your call. You said to me, how can people respond to youth homelessness differently or better, or something like that? I'm paraphrasing, Mark. And I said, how about don't fucking spit on them? Right, because we were having these issues. We were talking about traveling in Boulder and the experiences that we saw too much of young people coming in and talking about flying a sign to get some basic needs met, and somebody driving by at 35 miles an hour and throwing a handful of change at them. That's really malicious, shitty stuff to do. And the number of times that people have come to us and said, oh man, I've been spit on the street, I get called names, you know, this lovely notion that people who are experiencing homelessness ought to just get a job. Well, that's really hard to do when you don't have a safe place to live, and you don't have, you know, like your YouTube channel, you don't have the opportunity to privately use a restroom, take a shower, right, do laundry, those kinds of things. So we are in a studio apartment, a little shy of 400 square feet. You can see, well, you can't maybe see, but this will be the kitchen, the bathroom right here. We're gonna have right, living room furniture, a bed, a closet. Each unit gets its own heating and cooling system. Right, everybody likes their home to be different temperatures. But then also you'll see, if you point out, almost all the units either face the community or this, what's going to be a beautiful courtyard that the young people that live here will share. You're living on the streets, the myriad of struggle just to do basic human functions. Most communities don't have access to public restrooms. Most business owners won't give their bathroom code out to somebody they think might be homeless. And so just using the restroom, showering, not being ownership, value. This is a pretty cool representation of what we're doing here. One, as you look around, there's no drywall up yet, and so you can see the bare studs. And everywhere are these signs of you belong, you've got this, what's cooking, thank you, great work in the community, right, hearts everywhere is part of it, right? It's that message that this is a groundswell of support to change not just the trajectory of the lives of people who end up living here, but the community itself. Here, somebody who was on the streets on a Tuesday might move in here on Wednesday and have long-term, stable, safe housing in the middle of a community with views that people all over the world will be envious of. That's an amazing thing. Of course, the housing is important, but there's these secondary or collateral messages that we're giving people about their worth and value in the world that we think will have a significant impact. We hope will have a significant impact.
We haven't had one in over 50 years, so we're excited about it.
Yeah, well, it's a multi-purpose room.
Fucking Mark Horvath. We are in a two-bedroom unit here. So you can see this is going to be a nice kitchen area. We've got one bedroom. We've got another bedroom over there, a living area, a bathroom, and then a nice entrance and storage space. So really the intent here is to make sure that we're meeting the needs of young intact families as well. We don't believe in separating siblings, and so it is a unit that can accommodate two siblings. We see all too frequently sibling sets that are exiting the foster care system, right, aging out, falling off that cliff proverbially, and sometimes, right, that's a real experience for people emotionally to just get completely disconnected And the worst thing you could do then is then disconnect two siblings.
And you solved that here.
And we solved that with a 2-bedroom apartment. We're partnering with Boulder County Department of Housing and Human Services, and 10 of the units in this building are dedicated to youth that are aging out of the foster care system. So it's a preventative measure, but also we know disproportionately youth exiting the foster care system, to the tune of about 35% of youth exiting the foster care system have an episode of homelessness within a year of exiting the foster care system. So we're doing our small part to solve that problem here in Boulder as well. We all have a stake in this thing. I mean, so I think the country, the state, certainly the Boulder community has got a lot invested in this and a big stake in it. We're doing better and better at paying our employees competitive wages, making sure that employees are earning livable wages and that we have the resources needed to solve this problem. And so this community has rallied around supporting Attention Homes financially to enable us to do those things in a way that creates a real meaningful impact for not just the youth we serve, but right. So think about this. We're asking staff that are working with people who are largely in crisis or in really tough circumstances to help support their well-being. And yet throughout the industry we pay people such a poor wage that they can't take care of their own well-being. How the hell are they supposed to help somebody else with their well-being? And so we're just pushing against that real hard and making sure that everybody that intersects with Attention Homes at any level has opportunities to be healthy.
Thank you for the tour.
Oh man, what a pleasure.
It was awesome. I can't wait to come back.
I can't wait for you to come back.
This would be, when is it going to be completed?
We're going to start leasing up in October. So we're talking about just a few short months. And this is going to be home to 40 people who are right now living on the streets.
What would you say to other youth services that would like to do something like this, but they see the roadblock of the community? I mean, you're right downtown, or they see the roadblock or funding or whatever. How would you encourage them to make something like this happen?
1, it's possible. 2, call me.
Good.
Or call other people. We're not the only ones doing this.
Right.
People are figuring this out. And so let's come together as a field
and
do more and more and more of this. And together we can do it.
How do people get a hold of you? Website?
AttentionHomes.org.
There you go.
Easy breezy. Thanks for seeing the new project. It's really exciting and can't wait for you to see it when it's done.
Yeah. We'll come back.
Yes, it'll be thriving.